American town set, guards, fences. No intro card yet. In 1960, the CIA produced a film, not for the public, not for theaters. It was made to explain something the agency claimed was real, a town built by the Soviet Union that looked exactly like small-town America. Guarded, fenced in, used to train people to become American spies. The file sat in government archives for decades before anyone outside the intelligence
aspirin and
community
razor
saw
blades
it.
to
We're
Cokes
looking at
and
it
chocolate
now.
sundaes. As usual, it's the favorite hangout for the younger set, who spend their leisure time indulging in laughter, calories, and that great American institution, the jukebox. There's a department store featuring the latest spring fashions.
This is officially catalogued as small-town
A
espionage.
hardware store.
The record
offering a
lists its
special on
creator
gardening.
as the Central Intelligence Agency, filed under a National Archives series covering intelligence and foreign relations footage, a collection that spans nearly 40 years, from the late 1940s through the 1980s. The production date given is 1960, right in the middle of the Cold War, a period with a line between what the American public was told and what was quietly happening behind closed doors was often deliberately very blurry. Describe briefly and in your own words what the film's stated subject is: a supposed Soviet training facility built to resemble an ordinary American town, allegedly used to prepare operatives in surveillance and audio contact, the everyday tradecraft of a spy before infiltration.
Tools today. A library and a church. Strangely enough, its doors are always locked. But there are many strange things about this town. Even a casual observer would note the utter cleanliness of the streets and houses. He would also receive the impression
Here's
that
the
everything
first
in
thing
town
that
was
should make
brand
you
new,
pause.
as though it had sprung
A
up
film like
overnight.
this doesn't get made for entertainment. It gets made
A
to
closer
convince
examination of
someone
the
of
inhabitants
something.
would reveal that all of them seem to be
The
in their
question
early
we're going to
20s.
sit with for the rest
Policemen,
of this video is, who was it made to convince? And was any of it true?
most of the activity seems to center around the campus of a small college that is located in the center of town. As a matter of fact, the town is merely an extension of these classrooms. This is no ordinary school. The students here have been handpicked from thousands of applicants all over the country. Although they may come from different walks of life, certain characteristics are common to all. They are brilliant and determined.
We turn now to the subject of motor travel in the United States of America. You will find that as you drive from city to city, that few Americans any longer use the centralized hotels which have been a part of the past. Instead, they use small places of residence on the outskirts of cities, on the main highways, which are called motels, motor hotels, motor courts, and the like. But first, before going into this subject more in more detail, we will see a short training film in which you will see demonstrations of devices which have been used successfully in the past, as well as some of the latest models that are available. Pay close attention.
The premise didn't come from nowhere. It's tied to a real place, Vinnytsia, a city in Ukraine, then part of the Soviet Union. For years, rumors circulated in American intelligence circles that somewhere near there, the Soviets had constructed a mock American town, storefronts, street signs, even actors playing ordinary citizens, all built to train infiltrators who could pass as American without raising suspicion.
This is a typical American motel. They can be found all over the United States. Since most Americans use automobiles as their basic mode of transportation, motels have become very popular. Because of the luxurious facilities that most motels offer, Even those who travel by rail or air seem to prefer them to the ordinary hotels that are found near transportation terminals. As you can see, the interior of this room offers many opportunities for the use of surreptitious listening devices. A few years ago, the only devices available to us were tiny microphones, which could be installed behind the walls or under the floors. However, the installation of these microphones took time, and the accompanying wire made them susceptible to discovery. Today, we are no longer faced with that problem. To the unpracticed eye, there is nothing suspicious about this room. Nevertheless, these men are, for all practical purposes, speaking directly into a microphone. As part of the decor, most motel rooms display inexpensive lithographs, enclosed in a simple frame. This one, however, is used to camouflage one of the simplest devices available. Enclosed within the frame, behind the print, is a complete battery-operated microphone and transmitter. There are no wires or buttons visible. The batteries can operate continuously for more than 200 hours and are easily obtained. The advantages that this unit possesses are obvious. A new picture can simply be exchanged with one already in the room, or if time permits, the existing picture can be utilized by inserting the transmitter kit into the frame. 3/4 of an inch is the minimum thickness of frame that is required for installation. Reception is usually excellent, no matter where the voices are located in the room.
On that production figure for DC, I have the estimated daily production as 3. What do you show unit cost at?
The estimated unit cost
Second one down.
is $5,245.
Not only can a conversation be plainly heard, but a permanent record made, one that can be used for future reference, simply by using this small tape recorder.
It's the kind of story that sounds almost too cinematic to be real. And that's exactly why it's worth examining carefully. This wasn't the only film built around the idea. A related production, released 2 years later under Department of Defense sponsorship, dramatized the same fear for a mass audience with actors and a studio budget. We'll come back to that one. But first, what does this film actually show us? And how does a documentary like this get made when nobody can verify the thing it claims to document?
Appearances can deceive. That hearing aid in his ear is actually wired to a tiny receiver, which allows him to hear what is being said in the motel room.
I think they should.
A permanent record of the conversation can be made under these circumstances just as easily as if he were hidden from view. The recorder can be hidden quite simply, as this man has done. There is enough wire on the spools to record continuously for 4 hours if necessary. Volume controls are simple to make. However, entry is not necessary in order to hear what is being said within a room. If the wall is so thick that the sound waves are blurred or otherwise indistinct, a long metal probe can be attached to the mic and pushed through the inner wall to the inside of the wall of the other room. The vibrations then pass from the wall through the probe to the microphone, clearly reproducing any sounds emanating from the next room. The contact microphone has other uses. Because of its small size, it is easily concealed and can be used even in public with success. It is a simple matter to lean against a telephone booth without attracting attention. The microphone is simply carried in a coat or trouser pocket and pressed against the glass. The conversation can be heard clearly by the listener. The microphone is used in conjunction with a receiver that may be located either on the body of the carrier or positioned some distance away. These are only a few of the devices that are available. Let's look at them again. The picture frame transmitter. It can transmit all the sounds in an average room as far as 1/4 of a mile under optimum conditions. The contact microphone with different sized probes. It may be used with or without the probes and will faithfully reproduce all the sounds within an average room. Wristwatch mic. It will pick up a voice clearly up to a distance of 12 feet. The tie clasp microphone. Its range is also 12 feet. These small microphones will reproduce all sounds.
Look at this detail. Architecture style, a sign, a vehicle. Without inventing facts you haven't confirmed. This is the kind of detail researchers point to when they debate whether this was staged specifically for the camera or whether it's genuine surveillance footage repurposed into a training film.
Sounds in an average-sized room. This wire recorder can operate continuously for 4 hours. The small tape recorder, which can fit into a shirt pocket, can record continuously for 1 hour. These are some of the tools of your trade, weapons of democracy. Learn them well.
After lunch, you will have an opportunity to try each of the devices which you saw in the film. We'll take each of them in turn, learn what makes them work, and then practice the different installations. It is now 12 o'clock. Class is dismissed until 1.
No, this is no ordinary college. The curriculum offers conventional courses in American history, geography and chemistry, plus some in photographic techniques, electronics, encrypting and decoding, and lab courses in the use of explosives. The students you see here had to pass some of the most difficult entrance exams in the world. They are a special group. They have to be. The rest of the town's population is just as special. The entire town is a duplicate of what you would find all over the United States. It has modern stores, familiar brand names. The menus offer nothing but standard American dishes. The theater shows the latest Hollywood productions. But it's completely isolated from other population
And that's
centers.
the core tension of this entire file. Nothing here is signed off by an independent journalist. Nothing here was fact-checked outside the agency that made it. We are, quite literally, watching the CIA tell us what to believe about a Soviet operation. Using the exact tools of persuasion the film claims they used against us.
And entirely surrounded by barbed wire and armed guards. It's called Vinnytsia and is located in the central Ukraine, one of the southern Soviet Socialist republics. The entire town is a huge...
2 years after this
designed
film
to
was
train Soviet-
cataloged, Warner Brothers, working directly with the Department of Defense, released a dramatized version of this same fear to American television and classrooms. Narrated by Jack Webb, it followed an ordinary American man who wakes up to find his town has been quietly taken over by a communist regime, right down to a staged tribunal and a mock execution.
traffic regulations. They follow the latest news of America, from sports to Hollywood scandals. Their English is not only flawless, but they specialize in dialects and accents. All of the inhabitants in town are instructors. They coach the students how to conduct themselves.
One of these films was aimed at the public, built to frighten and mobilize. The other was never meant for public eyes at all, filed away as evidence of a threat the agency wanted preserved, not broadcast. Same fear, two completely different audiences. Which one do you think was more honest?
They're even taught how to buy like an American. The only genuine feature about Vinnytsia is the fence that surrounds it. Vinnytsia, school for spies.
Historians and researchers who've studied this file are split. Some treat it as a credible, if propagandized, record of a real Soviet training program. Others believe the town shown here was constructed or exaggerated specifically for this film, a piece of psychological reassurance for anyone inside the agency who saw it, proof that the threat they were fighting was concrete and visible, not abstract. Nobody has ever independently confirmed the town in this footage actually existed the way the file claims. That's not a flaw in our research. That's the point. This is what lost media really means sometimes. Not a file nobody can find, but a file everyone can find, and nobody can fully explain.
American town set, guards, fences. No intro card yet. In 1960, the CIA produced a film, not for the public, not for theaters. It was made to explain something the agency claimed was real, a town built by the Soviet Union that looked exactly like small-town America. Guarded, fenced in,
Small
used
town
to train people to become
USSR.
American spies. The file sat in government archives for decades before anyone outside the intelligence community saw it. We're looking at